Welcome to the month of January, first month of the year, and the first bonus Boyz of 2018. For this month, I've got the real Joe Buckley here.
Hiya, fellas.
And our special guest, Tyler Am.
Hiya, fellas.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what I do.
Yeah, you're just there, Joe. I didn't say you did anything, you just...
No, well, I mean, I like to take up space. I mean, I'm like a couch, or maybe like a big cat.
So, Tyler Am is the writer, director, producer, and editor of, as of now, 3 feature films produced here locally, and upcoming show,
The Benevolent Buckley Show.
The Benevolent Buckley, starring, unfortunately, Joe Buckley.
Well, you know, I wouldn't say starring. It's more of like, basically like whenever you go to try to film a house, if there's like an odd boy in the house, I mean, that's kind of what this is.
What's he building in there? So why don't you introduce yourself there, Tyler?
Well, first I'm going to apologize for ever giving Joe a platform, because he's now been in 2 of my projects, but...
Yes.
Yeah, I unfortunately have done a bunch of stuff. I, as Tad said, wrote, directed, edited, produced 3 feature films, River City Panic, Grace's Room, and Butcher the Bakers. And they were all picked up for distribution, and will be coming out 2018 by...
Peachtree Entertainment.
Well, it's Dark Cuts Entertainment.
Oh, yes.
Did you say Peachtree Entertainment, Joe?
Peachtree
is
like
their original film production side,
okay.
And Dark Cuts is the distribution side. But yeah, and so we're kind of between projects. I'm helping out the distribution company, writing some spec script and helping them cut some trailers. But in the downtime between now and our next film, I, with the help of Joe and my production designer and special effects guy, Nick, put together a show called The Benevolent Buckley Show. It's a 6-episode gothic talk show a la Svengoolie, Elvira, and like any other public access show you may see that involves, you know, ghoulish people talking about, I don't know, bad movies or current events or whatever.
Some kind of horrifying business.
Yeah, typical Joe speak.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, they're 15-minute episodes, and it's 15 minutes of Joe being Joe. There's puking, bleeding, screaming, lots of bleeping, because we were treating it like it's a real public access show. It's not, but I'm glad to see that since we released the trailer, a lot of people believe it is.
Yeah, somebody wants me to send them the tapes.
Yep, they wanted us to send them the tapes after they finish recording on television, for those who don't live in Illinois.
Yeah. I mean, it's very nice of them that they really wanted to catch the show, but they'll be able to on YouTube starting January 15th.
Yep. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm real excited to see the reaction to kind of like what we did here, because it's going to be real funny. I think it's going to be really good, and I'm excited.
And technically, Joe, aren't you permanently disfigured from the filming of this show? Didn't you have something happen to your tongue that has left you permanently scarred?
Yeah, well, there was an incident involving some malic acid. I mean, I won't say anyone's at fault, but I did clump at the very bottom, and then it did burn my tongue.
He's looking right at Tyler.
Oh, that wasn't me.
No, that was...
No, I unfortunately made a tasty beverage for Joe.
Yours is the best one.
There's a segment in the show called Potion of the Day. It's in every episode. And essentially the point is that the crew tries to poison Joe. And I believe it was... Well, traditionally she's my co-writer, but she was just kind of helping produce the show this time. But she, Jenna, made the decision to put a bunch of malic acid and I think milk.
Yeah, it was very white. It was a very white
curdled
beverage.
And whatever, and it made Joe very sick, and I enjoyed every second of it.
Oh, yeah. No, the crew got some big laughs out of that, so that's always good.
Yeah, it's always nice to see Joe suffer.
Yeah, and you know, that actually wasn't even the worst beverage.
It wasn't?
No.
I mean, I was there. I played the illustrious role of Joe's cousin Tad in the show. I'm in one episode, and I got to see Joe do some pretty nasty stuff.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Tad's in episode 4, so he opens up the episode. So don't worry, let me tell you about fans. He got a shot of his sweatshirt in there, so
I made sure to wait. It's called brand recognition.
Yeah, you can't miss him.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like Pepsi to like the Coca-Cola of the show.
Yeah. Unless we get to the episode, you just blurt it out.
Yeah. Well, no, it's like
Just
whenever
a giant blur on my shirt.
it's like whenever Adam Sandler makes a movie and then there's like a bunch of Sony laptops in there, even though those haven't been used in 10 years.
That's true, actually.
Yeah.
But so let's get back on topic here, and let's talk about you, Tyler. So, when did you start? When did you start making these films, producing these pieces of art?
I mean, I've always made stuff. I mean, I was one of those kids that had, I think it was the age of SD cards and like digital camcorders, but they were, much larger and dumber and shittier. But making stupid stuff with my friends in the neighborhood, and then graduated to, college and started making stuff with some friends, like sketches and things like that. There's a old YouTube page out there. I don't feel like mentioning it, but just old goofy sketches and shit. And then eventually, I got big boy jobs and stuff, and started making money, and was like, well, I got this money. I could either invest it wisely or make a feature film, and I did that and went $30,000 in the hole. So I went pretty big for my first film, and it's not great. I mean, and that's fine. I'm not bothered by that, but it's like you learn lessons. So every film that I've made has gotten cheaper and better because I'm a lot wiser now. You can't throw money at everything and fix it. So you can't, it's like, especially acting. But no, they're fun. I mean, all three films that I've made so far are like in a connected universe, so you'll see characters. It's more of like a Kevin Smith thing than it is like a Marvel thing. It's just you'll see some characters every now and again. They'll pop back in, some visual gags or some jokes that kind of repeat in the movies, and so they're just like goofy horror comedies. They're not scary. It's like I wouldn't say they're not spoofs of horror, but they just have like horror elements in it. So River City Panic is just about a town gone mad over like a missing person, and these 6 friends just don't want anything to do with it, and they kind of get swept up in the madness. Grace's Room is about a girl who is house sitting for her aunt and uncle, and while she's in her cousin's bedroom finds like a bunch of cult stuff, and comes to find out that her 13-year-old cousin is running a cult, and she's all powerful, and so that one's kind of fun. And then Butcher the Bakers is our latest one. It's the one that's kind of gotten the most recognition and kind of ended up getting us the distribution deal. But it follows 2 kind of idiot
bakers,
selfish bakers who one night they're leaving work and they get stopped by a mysterious stranger who hires them to hunt down and kill Death incarnate. But Death has been fired because he was killing the wrong people, and he's collecting souls for some nefarious purpose, and it's their job to find out and then murder him. And so it's pretty goofy. I mean, they're just fun, goofy comedies. I mean, there's Joe is in Butcher the Bakers. He essentially plays a version of himself. He is born from the
pinky stub.
Well, the corpse of a clown.
Yeah.
And I'm not lying about that. That's very true. It's very gooey and gross. And you see a half naked Joe. So
yeah. No, I mean, I'm very, very gooey. Like, whenever we filmed that, we got the cheap lubricant, and it wasn't slimy, it was sticky. So they also, like, took, like, a mop and then, like, kind of, like, washed me down like a big whale so I could slide on the floor.
That is, yep.
Isn't the exact lubricant is supposed to be the exact opposite of sticky, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but when you go to a gas station at, like, 11 p.m. on a Sunday, that's all you're going to get.
Yeah,
Go
the
up to the
99-cent
front
lube.
desk, demand some lube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no. I mean, the reason I got into it is I just enjoy it. I like making things with other people and seeing it from the beginning to the end. And the only reason why I do so many of the things that I do is because when you first start off, you're usually one person encouraging your friends to do this, that, and the other thing, and eventually they don't care anymore, and you have to find people who are good at their jobs. and so, like, I've been fortunate enough that I have a group of friends, they are friends now, but like people who actually work in the industry or something like that. My DP, my co-writer, my production designer guy, they're all, great people to work with. And so I just honed my skills as an editor, so I continue to edit, and I enjoy that. And the writing is one of my favorite parts. And then, when you invest, $15,000, $18,000, $30,000 into something, unfortunately somebody has to be the leader of that. And so I usually take the reins. So, but I'm happy to be here. Despite the fact that I'm inflicting the rest of the world, or not inflicting, infecting the rest of the world with Joe.
I think it's kind of going to be like The Ring, or Ringu for our Japanese fans. I mean, like, once you watch it, you're going to be done in 7 days because you're getting another episode.
That is very true.
Yeah.
That's right. Benevolent Buckley is going to be weekly, right?
Yeah, so the first episode will be January 15th, which I believe is MLK Day, and then it'll go for 6 weeks and ends on President's Day.
Now, when is Valentine's Day?
14th
The
of
14th,
February?
yeah.
Oh, so it might coincide. Might be, I don't know, maybe,
Yeah, for
maybe
you
we'll do
lovebirds
something.
out there.
Yeah, something there. We'll have Joe give dating advice. We'll find something there.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. Let me tell you, you just look deep into her eyes and you say, baby, oh, let's watch some Buckley.
Yeah. And then she dries up.
Yeah. Well, and she also drives away and leaves you like a
Dries up and
station.
drives away.
Yeah.
I hate it when you're funny.
Yeah, I know. Like, so basically, like, I mean, I'm basically kind of like a large, like, flea-ridden dog, and Tyler's got, like, a big whooping stick, and he just, like, whack me in the back.
That's not totally wrong, because sometimes... See, we're in my house right now.
Yeah.
And my home is my fortress of solitude. And Joe comes over quite often. We're either working on projects or shooting stuff, or he's just helping out. And as soon as he comes in, he'll literally kick his shoes at my door, lay on the couch, request food or something to drink, soda pop or something. And it's just like, no matter how many times I try to train him, it doesn't stick, it doesn't work, and I have to take the belt off and hit him.
Yeah, no, you can't teach this old dog new tricks.
You see, I like Joe's parents, but they definitely did not whack him enough.
Yeah, no. Or maybe too much.
No, because I want dents in your head.
Ah, I get you. Yeah. Kind of like an indentation so that you can eat soup off the top of my head.
You
Yeah.
want multiple soft spots.
Yeah, more like, I want the soft spot you
soft
should have had
spots
as
so
a
he can
child.
grab you like a bowling ball.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
if you rolled Joe down an alley, it would knock every pin over in the entire building.
pretty much, yeah. I did go bowling in Butcher the Baker's, and yeah, I couldn't land a single shot. They had to cut it very specifically so I would get strikes and not show me.
We had to have other people bowl.
Yes.
And then there's plenty of shots of Joe's butt crack as he's bending over, granny style.
Yeah.
It's
Although
pretty.
that was on purpose, though. You did request that.
Yeah, it was intentional, but it's funny. I mean, that's one of the funnier segments of the show, or the movie.
So you discovered Joe during a casting call on the local radio for River City Panic.
Yeah.
And how do you think Joe has helped shape? Definitely for the Bunch of the Bakers, I think Joe was really important in how that movie.
Yes,
came
he's helped shape the tumor in my brain.
It's shaped like Joe.
Yeah. No,
They gave you an MRI. Yeah.
So Joe, when I did my first movie, I did a lot of advertising for it because I didn't know what I was doing, and basically I was just soliciting from help from everywhere. So a lot of local papers and radio stations ran stuff on, oh, there's a movie being made in the area, which doesn't happen like very often at all. You know, I mean, we're about an hour and a half south of Chicago, but you know, it's like you'll get the occasional indie film that comes to town, but like, you know, it was like
nothing really local.
Yeah, and I'm from the area, and so it was kind of it was a bit of a big deal because it was the first one that we did. Now nobody cares anymore. But anyways, Joe, I don't remember it that well, but I remember Joe called me and asked if I needed help, and basically, you know, I got a lot of calls. I just said, hey, if you fucking show up on set, we'll find something for you to do. And Joe was about the only person that actually showed up. That wasn't like one of the paid crew guys. And he just kind of got stuck with the crew. And these were guys from Chicago. I'm not big fans of them now because they're kind of assholes. But they just basically told Joe to stand by the equipment truck and just guard it. So every now and again, I remember being on set, and I would just look over, and there would be just like, what are those guys? Those guards from
The British.
yeah, the UK guys. Joe's just standing there, stoic. But really, he's not like focused like somebody in the military. He's like looking up at the sky and the birds and stuff. And I'm like, what is wrong with that kid? And so, anyways, but he was a nice guy and he was very quiet, very, very quiet. And then we announced that we were doing the second movie. So all three movies were made in 3 years. So we would start writing and pre-production in about really about fall. And then we would be filming in the spring, and it would come out. We'd be filming in the summer. Really, we would start shit in the winter. Like you start writing, doing everything in December, start shooting in July, and then it comes out in next spring or something like that. But anyways, so we announced Grace's Room shortly before we released River City Panic. And we started working on it, and Joe asked to come back on set again. So he wasn't involved in anything between.
No.
I saw him on River City Panic, then he showed up for Grace's Room. And on Grace's Room, I would hear from the new crew that I have, that I really love, that Joe would be really weird. and just say like things out of nowhere. And so like there's one moment where there's a really awkward conversation between this extreme closeted we assume
deep-voiced actor.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe him. A very mentally disturbed man.
He has a fake wife on Facebook
who has a fake
for
wife.
Years. It's been going on for years.
It was weird. But anyways, he was on set that day and being really awkward, and somebody was telling me a story about how that guy was just like talking about nonsense, and Joe just cuts him off and points out that there was a dead mouse on the floor. And like it's like when you see your baby and they say "dada" for the first time. That was like the first time Joe talked. Yeah. He's like, "Look at that dead mouse over there."
Yeah. Well, no, that's actually two separate stories. Because whenever I interrupted the guy, like there was a big spider on like the wall, and like he was saying his goodbyes to like all the crew, and I was like, "Oh yeah, look at that spider." And then another time, whenever we were cleaning up the location and getting ready to leave, there was just like a dead mouse under the truck, and I swept it up in the garbage. And like another crew member was like, "Aren't you gonna give it a funeral?" And I mean, it's gonna get buried eventually. So
yeah. So Joe cracked a couple jokes, and then the crew started focusing him on a little bit, and they'd stay up late at night where we were all staying at, and kind of crack wise and whatever, and we would laugh about Joe. And it was just like it's like the innocent kid that you don't expect to say like the occasional really inappropriate stuff, and it was funny.
You don't expect him to know so much about Albert Fish.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we weren't to that phase yet. So after Grace's room, after we filmed, and I was like editing and stuff like that, we started like we would get together every now and again just to hang out. People would come watch cuts and stuff, and Joe started showing up and coming with, and because we thought it was funny, and then. It just like I said earlier, it's like a fucking infection. It's like he just keeps growing and growing and growing and getting louder and bigger and angrier and more disgusting. And then he talks about the serial killers at nauseum. He talks about disgusting sexual videos he's seen online.
I'll check him out.
Jesus Christ. He talks about like the things he does to his body that we don't need to know about. Yeah. And it's like
I shave.
Well, it's not even that. It's just like the things that you have done to your body.
Sure,
like,
I get you.
In your private times.
Yeah,
and it's
I get you.
Nobody asked for this information. Nobody wanted the information, but he keeps regurgitating it. We're like 2-3 years on now, and I have begged him to stop talking about serial killers.
And I have.
Stop. Oh, but it still squeaks out. If there's, you see, it's when you get Joe in the room with one other person, you can have a real conversation. He can still get loopy and goofy and be like ridiculous, but it's fairly manageable. You get 2 people in the room, you got a 25% chance you're going to get a good Joe that day. 3 people in the room, it's out the fucking window. Yeah. 4 or more, it's a fucking disaster. Like
turns into Bad Boy Bubby.
Exactly. That's his fucking
alter
ego.
His evil persona that I keep. Every time he goes Bad Boy Bubby, I whip an empty can of Joker at him because that's all he drinks. He drinks that Monster
Venom.
And Venom, I'm sorry.
99-cent Pepsi energy drink.
No, but it's constant sugar. It's like, oh, we need to stop and we need to go to Dunkin' Donuts to get a coffee. Oh, we need to stop at Thornton's and get a slush.
Yeah.
Which an icy is what that means. And he just fucking loads up on sugar. We'll spend a whole day together. He won't drink a lick of water.
No, I call it Sky Piss.
Yeah, Monster, Dr. Pepper, Mountain Dew, slush, another Monster, coffee. It's ridiculous. Your heart should have exploded 10 years ago.
I mean, I'm a big liquid fan. I just do not do water. I don't believe in it.
Oh, God.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm as healthy as, like, a large cow.
No, you're not.
And they have ulcers.
No, you're not. You look like a large cow.
No, I know. That's
because
I've
seen all 8 nipples you have.
Yeah, I know. He keeps, like, trying to grab at them. Like, ooh, yeah.
Yeah, well, because I need to milk this cash cow.
Yeah,
That's why we made the Benevolent Buckley show.
Yeah.
Gosh.
See, I've known Joe for 20 some odd years. I always do. Joe is funny. No one else in my family appreciates Joe except me. I knew at some point Joe was going to break out and be known for something. It was either going to be like a school shooting or something like a movie.
Yeah. I mean, they did always call me Columbine in high school.
That is a fact. His nickname in high school was, in fact, Columbine.
Yeah.
And you're not wrong. I mean, that is why we're doing the Benevolent Buckley show, is because Joe. I mean, I wouldn't say you're the breakout star of Butcher the Bakers, but he's consistently funny throughout it, and it's like even people who don't understand Joe or his sense of humor. It's like they'll usually laugh at 50% of what he does and says because it's just so awkward and weird. You can't wrap your head around the way his brain works. it's weird. I don't think I think he has like 3 brains in there, but they're all very small, and they try and compete for the
oxygen. I've only got so much oxygen in here. Yeah.
So, but anyways, when we finished Butcher the Bakers, we got it out there. We had the distribution deal, and basically we've just been sitting on it, waiting for them to kind of master it and everything and get ready for release. And we wrote some scripts. It was like, I get that itch where it's like I have to be making something, and I think we've been playing with the idea of like I always liked the idea of Joe hosting a show. I think we were.
We were talking about that in Grace's room.
Yeah, like years ago, and it was more of like a traditional thing, like like a real talk show, but just Joe, and it'd be interviewing just like random people and stuff. But it never picked up. And then like back in late September of 2017,
I think so. Yeah,
we were just kind of me, him, and like I said, my buddy Nick. We were just kind of hanging out, and the idea came back up again. And then the idea that it's like he's been. I've been shooting promos for a bunch of stuff, and I put Joe in this cloak that was a leftover costume from Butcher the Bakers, and people loved those videos. They were just promos for like local art shows and things like that, just random stuff. And I would just keep putting him in it, and he would just play this kind of character. We didn't have a name or anything like that. It's just basically Joe, like a demonic Joe. And people just thought it was so funny and stuff like that. Like, well, what if we took that character and gave him a talk show? But it's like a public access thing. And we wanted to make it different because we don't want it to just be like the Eric Andre show, which, I love that. What is it? The Gore Burger show. Trying to think of any other goofy ones. Or like an actual traditional like horror gothic talk show. We want it to be different. And so that's why we incorporated there's 3 cameras on Joe, but there's also 2 cameras on the crew. So you have a whole cast of crew members. You see Joe, like the show's constantly failing and Joe's screaming at them and interacting with them. And we wanted to try and introduce that. Things go wrong all the time. There's the station manager who's always angry at Joe and they fight all the time. And then we wanted to include those elements of Joe, which is like the puking and the bleeding and all that other stuff, the screaming and the swearing at people, making them uncomfortable. Yeah. And so we kind of wrapped it all together. It's like every episode's its own like little thing, and then like there's one kind of arc throughout all 6 episodes. It's very minor, but it plays a big part in episode 6, which is just Joe's show it's either tanking or doing amazingly well, and Joe's either happy or pissed off about that. And we kind of see the progression of the station manager trying to get the show kicked off the air. And so it kind of concludes in episode 6, and then some shit goes haywire. So
yeah, I'm really excited for that episode. That's going to be really cool.
It gets pretty dark in that one.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes things need to go dark.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, I know it's hard to wrap your brain around. Tad's shaking his head because he just doesn't understand it. Like why I would spend several $1,000s on a show for Joe.
What do you think it's up to now at this point?
Well,
4?
I don't.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it probably is about 4,000. I still want to say 4,000 because I'm sure more people will be like, "Fuck, that looks like dog shit. Looked like you spent $50 on it."
No. I mean, because basically we got like really nice 4K cameras, like stuff that they actually use to shoot movies. We got 3 of them to get like all the shots and stuff. We got really nice lenses. We got like professional lighting equipment.
Well, a lot of it is that set. That set it's handmade. All of it.
It's a gorgeous set.
Yeah, Nick did that, and it's fucking amazing. And so we didn't want to do is like just phone it in. We didn't want to because there's a couple public access shows. We don't have like a station in our area, but in the Illinois like north central area, and the shows are just kind of slapped together. It's like you got that faux like stone paper walls or something like that, and then there's just like random shit skulls and whatever. It just doesn't make sense. And so we were like, well, let's just do it right and do it up. And so that's why you don't see a bunch of random shit on the set. It's what we need. We have the desk, the chair. There's like the spot for the band leader with his organ and all this other instruments he uses. Some plants and things like that from like a traditional show. And then his 2 other. Not really.
Kind of like co-members of the show.
Yeah. There's a puppet sidekick called Dr. Erlenmeyer. And then there's a band leader. His name's Sean, but he prefers on the show to go by Ghoul Master. And so, it's just subversive and strange. And I think people will enjoy it. If you like Joe, I think if you give it a chance, I mean, well, really, you don't even watch the first minute, and Joe's already full Joe. So it's just a wild ride for the next 6 weeks.
Yeah. Even in the trailer, he's already calling people communists, screaming about being blind.
Yep.
Flailing around, hitting people.
Yep.
Yeah, bleeding.
Catching things on fire.
Yep. I was wondering about the Dr. Erlenmeyer when I went on, because I was on the set for just one night. It was in the back of a of a local theater.
Yeah, but the theater was really nice. It was huge.
It was pretty large.
So we had like everything we could use. Like, did we end up using any of their prop type stuff or not really?
No, but I mean just the facilities, because it's a local community theater, and having the stage, was nice, and the curtains kind of add a mystique to it all. I mean, that's not how like a real station would look, but it kind of feels like a sound stage, and there's plenty of areas for us to be, because we like I said, we started the idea in about late September, and we would have loved to have had this release, around Halloween, but it was like it wasn't feasible because it just kept growing in scale, and then we 3 full months of prep or something like that, building, spending money, doing all this stuff, and then what was supposed to be the first day of filming, which was like December 2nd. It was a Saturday. We found out about 3 days before we were filming that theater was doing a performance of the Nativity. So fucking baby Jesus gets in the way. And
he always
once
does.
again.
Yeah,
gotta spank his little round bottom.
So there's no way they were going to not do that performance. So we had to wait. We had to come in later that day, about 5 o'clock, when we were originally going to be in there about 9 a.m. And so we started at 5 p.m. on a Saturday, and we finished at about...
Right, 3-4 a.m.
No, we finished about 11:30 p.m. on Sunday. So we shot it for...
Oh, no, I was saying, like, on Saturday, we wrapped up around...
No, I know, but what I'm trying to say is we spent about 36 hours shooting this thing.
Yeah, definitely.
And then like I said, we wrapped about 11:30. By 12:30, the whole stage was cleared. So it's just like you spend all that money and you work really hard, and then it's just like... It's like you shoot it and it's done. I mean, it's great. I mean, I couldn't be happier. We managed to get everything. We didn't have to cut anything, but it was a fucking insane 36 hours. I had to sleep in that theater all night.
Yeah.
That the heat had broken a couple days before, and I was like in this back room, like the green room, and I was like sleeping on this couch, and it was terrifying because it was like, I was only there for like 4 hours by myself because that's as much time as we had to sleep. But somebody came in while I was there, and I just buried my head in the couch. I'm like, I'm not looking up. So I don't know if it was just like a board member or something came in to check on stuff, make sure that
some random guy just kind of came in there.
Yeah, and touched my butt and then left.
Yeah, like Jason Voorhees is coming in.
Yep.
Making sure the bad kids aren't having sex.
So if you could go back and tell yourself while you were directing the first movie, what would you tell yourself to avoid any massive headaches you had while filming the first and even the second one?
Be confident. Like, because I had mentioned it earlier, I don't. By the end of filming, and especially once the release of that first movie came out, I was not happy with the crew at all. These guys were paid from Chicago. They all made money. But then on set, they kind of treated it like I didn't know what I was doing. And I wouldn't say that I didn't know what I was doing, but I wasn't confident enough to tell them, do what I ask you to do because you're getting paid. And so that movie kind of got, like, it's only 66 minutes when it was originally, a 100-page script, which doesn't add up.
Yeah.
And the DP just kept having me cut stuff. Basically, like, it's like, I went to school for this, and it's like, fuck you. You don't have to go to school to do this. And so, anyways, if I had a stronger backbone, I think I would have gotten more of the movie that I wanted and less of, the thing that he tried to make, because he color corrected that film. The director of photography, he color corrected that film because I didn't know anybody else who could do it. Again, he got paid to do that, and then he tried to he did re-edit parts of it, and that was 3 days before. I got it back 2 or 3 days before the release of the film in a theater, and I fucking I think I sent him an email initially, basically being like, "You're going to change this before then and give it back to me, or you're not getting paid for anything." And so, and he did it, and then, I don't talk to any of them again. And so it was just really frustrating. And then, like I said, like, and when you start getting into stuff where you're spending thousands of dollars trying to make something that's labor of love, I had learned doing videos with my friends that you have to give up the image that you see in your head. 99% of the stuff you do isn't going to look exactly like you envisioned it, and you have to be able to work collaboratively. And so I was kind of already prepared for that by my first film, kind of giving things up to, my special effects guy, my production designer. I see it this way, let me try it. Oh, that is way better than I would have imagined, doing it like this, that, and the other thing. You need to be collaborative, and you need to be understanding, and, you need to sacrifice just as much as you need to sacrifice twice as much as what you expect other people to give. And so, I mean, that's just a couple life lessons through that. And it's like, you don't need a ton of money, and you don't need the most established or experienced crew. You just need people that are dedicated to what you are trying to do. And so that's why every movie we made, we included more and more people from the beginning. So like Butcher the Bakers originally was a script I had written myself without my co-writer. And we had shopped 3 scripts to our core team, and they liked the one that I had written the most, but there were some elements that they just weren't sure that would read well in the movie, and or if we'd shot it, wouldn't read well, and then also they just weren't as confident in as I had wanted them to be. So then we decided, let's take the things that we liked about that script and write a new one around them, and then that's how we ended up with Butcher the Bakers. Actually, you were in the original script.
Yes,
but much less, and then of course
it was a completely different role because I was with you.
Yeah, and then we brought more Joe in, which unfortunately benefited the film.
Well, some people say that, yeah. Because originally, like, I was going to be tagging along with Richard Pocket as he would be playing like a pizza delivery man, and I would be helping him deliver the pizzas.
You would be his pizza gremlin.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, except nobody knows who Richard Pocket is, Joe.
Well, I mean, that's one of the lead characters from River City Panic. He came back in Grace's
he's
room
in all
to help
3
out.
films, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just think that I don't know if this is the direction you were heading, Tad, but that for anybody who wants to make something, just fucking do it. Don't hesitate. I mean, don't put yourself in a situation where you're trying to make like a 300-page sci-fi epic, and you only have $3,000. That's not going to translate well. But like, try and scale to what you have and what resources are around you, and just make stuff if you really are passionate about it. And we're always open to working with people, and it's I like offering any kind of advice I can so people can avoid the pitfalls that I fell into, because at this point, like I said, I mean we're not doing amazing, we're not Hollywood or anything like that, but like my films were noticed, and we've had some publications write about us, and our films are being distributed nationally. It's it's not like you're going to see it in a movie theater, but you're going to rent it in a family video if anybody has a family video near them. And
it's pretty much only Illinois, I think.
Well, no, family video is like across the Midwest and the East Coast, I think.
Yeah, it kind of stretches across.
Yeah, and so you'll be able to get it online via like Walmart, Best Buy, and like more than likely a lot of the other films that this company has distributed have been on Amazon Prime and things like that. And that's cool because it's like
more people see it.
Yeah, usually we would just hold a premiere locally. It would run for a week. We'd make like $1,000, $2,000.
You'd make some homegrown DVDs, and that'd be pretty much the end of it. But
and then it would literally just die, and then nobody would ever think about it again. But now that it's kind of going to be out there, and it's cool. And then, like I said, those guys, they asked me to write a script for them on spec that their investors are interested in, and I'm cutting the trailer. So, like I said, they make their own films too. These 2 guys named Andy and Warner, and they just made a movie with Chad Michael Murray, and I can't remember the female lead. I can't remember her name, but she's been in some stuff. And it's like I think it was like $1 million or something like that, maybe a little bit more. And I'm going to cut the trailer for it, and because they really like my trailers. So it's just neat. It's just all you have to do is just be persistent, and be persistent, and eventually a growth will attach itself to you, and you can exploit it for some
sucking the blood
for
out.
some hopeful YouTube revenue.
Yeah, AdSense, like Patreon type stuff. Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier that you had 100 pages for the original script of River City Panic. Were there any key scenes that you really wish you would have been able to get in there? Because I know that for filming, you guys only had a very short time to actually have everyone together for each of these 3 movies to film.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and about 9 days for each movie.
Yeah, each movie was like 9 to 10 days. Actually, if I think I'm getting this incorrect. I think the very first draft of River City Panic was like 120-some pages. And then logistically, that is ridiculous, because they kind of say that a page a minute.
Yeah, so that would be 2 hours even.
Yeah, and so the DP did ask me to cut it down, and I kept whittling it down. And I think by the time it was like a shooting script, it was maybe like 86 pages or something. So it's like, and there was a lot of fat that got cut out that I was okay with. But, like I said, maybe like an 86-page script when we were on set. And I can't remember if there was any full scenes, but there was lots of moments that were cut out of like a joke or a gag that would go on for like half a page or something like that. So many things that they just kept nope. And like I said, I was green. I should have had the confidence to be like, well, no, this is what I want. This is my film. We need to make it like this. And I didn't. I kind of got bulldozed a little bit. There might have been a few like small, like minor transition scenes that didn't make it. But it's still, yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, from my understanding of it, it seems like they just did not like to move the camera ever.
No,
because every single shot is a static shot.
It is. We shot on red, so it was red with anamorphic lenses.
Yeah,
so
which is really good. 4K.
I mean,
nice
it's
video.
like, yeah, I mean, that's next to industry standard. I mean, basically with what you were working with at the time, or what we were working with. And so they would basically, it was a single cam setup. So it was like shot reverse shot. So you're just showing where are our leads, and then who are they talking to, and then every scene, all the leads are lined up. And I didn't realize what was going on because I couldn't translate in my head. I wasn't a DP, and I've slowly begun to understand how, what I'm seeing while I'm not looking through the monitor of the camera. We were basically lined up like Scooby-Doo. Everybody runs into the scene, it's like derp, 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 and then they run out, and then they go to the next scene, line up, derp, derp, derp. And it's very stuck. There's not a lot of action, whereas Grace's room, there's probably almost too much.
Yeah, it's a very frantic camera.
It's a very frantic camera, and we bumped down from like 5K to 1080 with DSLRs, and then we found a happy middle ground where we're shooting with these 4K Panasonic GH4s, which are fantastic cameras, and they cost next to nothing. And we got these really great lenses that we rented, these Vajra lenses, and it looks great. We utilized the camera in ways we hadn't before, and tried to make it more cinematic. And not to say that any of these films are perfect, but if you like the charm of a good bad movie, then they're perfect for you. I always say, I don't care if you laugh with us or at us, just so long as you enjoy the movie. I'm not bothered by it. My feelings won't be hurt.
Yeah, because I mean, what ended up happening with like River City Panic is like all the paid guys basically fucked off, and then all the free guys ended up like coming back on to do more stuff and graduate into like the bigger roles and kind of stuff.
So my DP Zach, he was like a cam up. Oops, sorry about that. Oh, he actually just messaged me. Look at that about cameras.
Yeah.
Anyways, he was like an assistant to the camera department. I mean, he didn't even really do much with the cameras because they didn't trust him because they were a bunch of fucks. But Zach made a far superior film than them 2 years later, and it's like he was a cam op in Grace's room, and then the director of photography for a bunch of the Bakers, and he was in charge of the cameras for Joe's show, which is why it looks fucking fantastic. Even though it's just like 3 cam setups, like a real talk show or whatever. He still managed to make it look good, and so it's impressive what people can learn in a short period of time.
Yeah, it's funny watching how the movies kind of grew because as you said before, each one, the River City Panic, you had the Kickstarter, you had all that.
Yep.
Then for Grace's Room, did you have a Kickstarter for the full funds for that, or only a partial?
No, we had Kickstarters during pre-production for River City Panic and Grace's Room, and we actually did better on Grace's Room. I was surprised. I thought we would have milked our base. I think River City Panic raised about 8,000 to 9,000, and then we raised like 11,600 or something, or 700 for Grace's Room. Or I don't know if I just said Grace's Room twice, but about 8,000 or 9,000 for River City Panic and 11,600 for Grace's Room. And then we wanted to avoid doing the Kickstarter again. We wanted to stop relying on people for stuff. And that's something that you need to learn to do when you make your own stuff, is that you need to keep cutting out the begging and things like that. You need to learn to find those resources, work yourself, save your own money to do it, so it's a lot less headaches. And so we had met a couple guys during the making of Grace's Room who have a substantial income, and they myself included, me and 2 other guys chipped in for the
for Butcher,
for the costs of principal photography.
Oh yeah.
And then we wanted to go back and do some more after we were done. We wanted to add some more scenes. We wanted to adjust a few things, and so we did a Kickstarter. We were asked for like $1,000. We only gave ourselves like 7 days, and like within like a day we were funded. And I think we got like
4,000, I think.
No, it was only about 2.
Oh, okay.
I think maybe even a little bit less.
Numbers.
But anyways, we got the money, and we did a lot of pickup shots for that. It was like I said, we got way more collaborative in our last film, and it was an evolving thing where we'd watch something and be like, this just isn't working, we're not happy with this. We reshot a couple scenes, like rewrote them, reshot them completely. because we just weren't happy and we wanted to make the best film we possibly could. And by the end of it, Butcher the Baker's cost $15,000-$17,000. And you would not tell. I think most people would think that it cost $40,000 to $50,000.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, if everybody was basically, if this was like a paid shoot for everybody, I mean, this thing would have cost like probably $80,000 to get something of the same quality. I think.
Yeah, and the reason why, and it's not like, I don't enjoy people not getting paid for all their hard work, but these guys, they asked to do it, they want to do it because they're so excited about it. And I mean, nobody gets paid. I'll never make my money back. I've been between my 3 films, it's $40,000-$50,000 or something. And so it's like, I mean, maybe with the distribution deal, I'll make my money back. But, any dollar I make, it always just goes into the next thing because, like, that's what I'm focused on. I will never not be in debt to movies because it's just like, I'll get some money, be like, fuck it, let's do the next thing. We've got it. We've got half the budget. I'll go into debt for the rest. Let's move forward. So it's just, and it's... I don't know. I can't imagine. It's 2018. Joe has his own fucking show. Like, this is not where I thought my life would be. It's reliving all this stuff. It's like, if I had known that, if I had known where I'd be now back then, I might have changed my mind. Yeah, you probably will have tried to, like, bury me in the River City panic grave. Oh, you see, like, there's been, I think it was, what was that show? The Birthday Boys, if anybody ever watches the sketch show. One of their sketches is that they go, back in time to kill Hitler. And so I wouldn't do that. I'd go back in time and I'd find Baby Buck. I'd find him.
Find Baby Buck and kick him right in the head.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be hard because he'd be in his basement still.
Yeah, I'd be playing with, like,
you know where he's been from 0 to 22.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I had a bunk bed whenever I was a kid, so that was nice.
Yeah, was it you that threw Jake, or did Jake throw you off the top of the bunk
bed?
bed?
I threw Jake. Oh, he was probably looking at me funny or something, and I threw him into, like, a moving fan and broke the light bulbs on him.
Yep. Joe and his brother Jake were a little pair of nightmares.
Oh,
I believe that.
One time I took, like, a stick from my yard, and I jabbed him in the eyeball, and he had to go to the emergency room then. One time he took, like, a piece of string and, like, pinned me down on the ground and was just sawing through my arm with this string, and I've still got a scar from that.
Yep.
Good.
Yep. When I used to live in Grand Ridge, just down the block from Joe, I remember our mom dropped us off to be babysat there, and as she was pulling out, it was either me or you who was riding a bike, and one of us ran over my little brother for, like, just right over his head with our bike because my mom was pulling out and she kept going. She's like, nope.
Not there. Stopping there. Yep.
This
will be a 10-minute affair. I've got to go get to the shoe college.
Shoe college.
Yeah. I assume that's where women go whenever they're leaving.
Oh my God, Joe.
Yeah. Whenever because I loved fire as a kid. Luckily I did not display the serial killer triad. I did not piss my pants. I did not torture animals, but I loved fire. I liked starting fires and playing in fires. And what me and my brother would do was, there were some, like, metal sticks, like, in the yard. Like, we would heat them up until they were red hot, and we would sword fight with them. And, like, whack them against stuff, and, like, go over the trampoline, to the trampoline. We had them burn holes in the trampoline and stuff. And yeah, it was fun being a boy in Grand Ridge.
That's what you had to do in Grand Ridge.
Basically, yeah. We didn't have television until 2008.
So now you've got the Benevolent Buckley for now. This is your current project. Do you plan on just later this year, next year, year after that? Do you just plan on getting back on the movie train, trying to continue the pace you guys have been going at? Because this is the first time you've taken a break in 4 years.
I mean, I'm glad that we have Joe's show because it helps me feel like, I didn't just piss away 2017. So we have a script that we really like. It's definitely our best script. And everybody's really excited about it. The thing is that we need a bigger budget than we ever had before, and we want to do it, right. We want to get real actors. We kind of feel like we're at that level. I mean, it would still definitely be an indie production. I mean, I know anything like under like $1 million is technically indie or something, but like we want to make it with our core team, but we want to get the outside talent that we need. And we're hoping that the distribution company, we have a really good relationship with them. Those guys are trying to find us money to make that movie, and originally we wanted to make it this summer, but there's just so much going on. Like I said, I'm writing a script for them, and doing Joe's show and things like that. So it's like I'm not like in any rush, but definitely, you know, in the next year or two, I'd like to have another movie shot. And so we're trying to move away from like the horror aspect of stuff, just because we it's not that we want to hook new people. It's just we've kind of bled that thing dry after 3 movies, and we have a very irreverent, goofy style of humor, and it definitely plays out in all of our films. And we want to keep doing that, but we want to try playing with other genres. So this new one's kind of a thriller. And, you know, like, we sort of like to make that happen. So, but I mean, ideally, you know, with Joe's show, and I don't know much about YouTube and stuff. I mean, I watch plenty of YouTube, so I know how these things work and stuff, from like a viewer standpoint, but like actually doing it, I might have to ask you a bunch of questions, Tad, but like, we're hopeful that enough people will watch season 1 of the Benevolent Buckley show to warrant a season 2. And we'd like to invest more in that, go bigger and better. You know, we have everything we did from the first one, so we don't have to spend money on it.
Oh, yeah, we got everything in the garage right now, the walls and, like, everything.
Yeah, bigger, better Buckley.
Exactly. And so, I mean, we'd still do, like, another 6 episodes, but maybe they'll be longer, higher production quality. Maybe we'd get a little bit crazier, some higher concept, you know, stunts and gags and things like that. And so, you know, I don't know if that means, like, doing a Patreon for season 2, or you know, I mean, it'd be great if we made a little bit of money off of YouTube or something. I don't know what to expect. So I'm really hopeful that, you know, because I noticed we put up the trailer on YouTube and on Facebook, and then you shared it with your
Audience.
Podcast base.
Well, is there a name? You know, because
we call ourselves Let Me Tellies in our community.
Let Me Tellies.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, that's just a joke.
But anyways, you know, everybody kind of jumped on really quickly, and like, you know, I went from 0 to 200 subscriptions on YouTube, or I mean, not me, but the Benevolent Buckley channel did, and you know, lots of comments, a lot of positive things said, and so it gets me excited. I mean, I hope they're excited. We're not making this strictly to like suck your audience in and make AdSense money off of them, but you know, a big part of the reason why we decided to move forward on this is knowing that there's a group of people other than us that enjoy Joe. And so it's like, you know, fuck it. If I can give a gift to some people in this world, I guess I'll wrap Joe up in a bow. And
oh, yeah. And I mean, I can be shipped to Canada. I mean, mostly just Canada, though, because I'm not really allowed back into the United States. So if someone could give me postage, I mean, I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm going to call immigration on you right now.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to ice your ass.
Yeah, no, I ain't going to be good for me.
We're going to put you on a North Korean missile and fire you into space.
Yeah. Oh, that could be cool, actually, though.
Yeah, watching your body combust and freeze.
Yeah, because, I mean, I'll probably be one of the only humans to go back into the space in the 2000s.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, so basically, like, with, like, all of this type of stuff, I mean, what I've mostly been doing behind the scenes, like, for River City and Grace's Room, I was just kind of like a general crew. I'd, like, help out and do whatever they needed to be done. Like, I dug, like, a grave in, like, the park, in the city park.
Yeah, Joe and 2 other guys dug a grave for 3 hours.
Unfortunately, it wasn't Joe's own grave.
Yeah.
It was the grave of Abraham Lincoln, and that's not a lie.
Oh, yeah.
He's in the movie, so
yeah,
it's a weird movie.
Yeah, but then with Butcher the Bakers, I mean, I graduated to actually like being like an actor in the movie, and then I did documentary stuff.
Yeah, Joe shot a bunch of behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah,
we'll eventually utilize.
You've got so much behind the scenes stuff on your camera, Joe.
I've literally got 2 terabytes of behind the scenes footage of all.
Yeah, he's got a little leather booklet that he had at Christmas, full of SD cards, and he was just constantly filming stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I really like filming stuff. I'm just not a good editor. I don't have the patience.
Yeah, you can't say you're not a good editor. You're not an editor because you sit there, you stare at your screen for about 5 minutes, and then you get on like Reddit and what is that fucking gross site you go on all the time? eFucked. You go on eFucked all the time. You know,
start looking up instructions on how to play Buck, how many hands up.
Yeah, something like that. Like I'll turn on Binding of Isaac. I'll sink another 3 hours into that. I mean, so far I made little things, but nothing on the scale of like a documentary. So I think either it'll have, because I'm still filming stuff sporadically whenever we do stuff here.
Yeah, we haven't like since Butcher the Baker's like the release party. We haven't had anything major related to like our, I don't know what you call our movies, and so it's like we haven't really had a need. You know, we've been doing some weird, off the shelf, goofy stuff, but it's been pretty small scale. So
Because, I mean, whenever you were editing Butcher, I mean, I would just come over and, like, film you for, like, 3 hours. I have, like, probably 50 hours of footage of you editing Butcher the Bakers.
Yeah.
And, I mean,
Joe's
that's
just
not really,
looking at him.
That wasn't really necessary.
Yeah, I
for...
refused to look behind myself because I was worried he'd be touching himself.
Yeah. And that is a problem for a documentarian, because, I mean, we do enjoy watching people.
You can't interfere with
I
the
think you
person
mean
you're
voyeurs.
viewing.
Voyeurs,
Yes.
not documentarians.
But what's the
God.
difference, really, legally? Because
Legally, you're not supposed to be in the United States, apparently.
I mean, a voyeur is just a documentarian who doesn't release his footage.
Oh, he releases something.
Oh, yeah, let me tell you, thick ropes. That's what he releases.
Joe, if this monster can was empty, I would have thrown it at you.
Oh, yeah, but it's half full, so he doesn't want to spill.
That's true, because that would be rude. If
Yeah.
it was my house, I would throw it.
Yeah. Well, and also, that's like $1 a monster right there. I mean, that's wasteful.
All right, are there any other comments that you'd like to share related to the Benevolent Buckley upcoming projects? Anything you just want to let other people know?
No, I mean, I appreciate your fans kind of giving us a little bit of love initially, and I hope you guys tune in and watch all 6 episodes coming out every Monday, starting January 15th. And I mean, if you like Joe, I think you're going to get a good dose of him. I mean, he's definitely not watered down, but he's made for public access. So there's going to be some things bleeped and some things blurred.
Yeah.
But I think you guys will really enjoy it. So I hope people check it out. And I don't want to get the impression that I hate Joe. I mean, I do hit him.
Yeah.
I do spit on him.
Yes.
I do throw, raw meat at him.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's a helpful thing. That's like a seal.
Yeah, but, I still enjoy him, so.
Yeah.
He's a hoot and a holler, and I hope he behaves himself in the Discord.
Oh, no, I had to ban him. He kept
Yeah, I
posting
think he banned at
uncensored
one point.
pictures of penises.
Yeah. And, like, different kind of things. Like, I think at one point I posted scat porn, and I got banned for that.
Yeah, I had to ban you, Joe.
Yeah,
Why?
but I got back in.
Yeah, I did let him back in because he did give me $5, so
Yes.
I did unban him.
Okay, so that's the bar, folks. If you get banned, just send Tad $5.
Oh, yeah.
That's an actual offer. I tell people, if I ban you, if you give me $200, I'll unban you. There's no, I won't guarantee I won't immediately ban you again, but I will
Yeah,
technically
toe the line.
unban you.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
So,
I mean, yeah.
thanks for
having me on.
Thanks for being on here, answering some questions, and looking forward to Benevolent Buckley. I only know a little bit, so it'll be pretty fresh for me too.
Yeah, so we did. There's a lot of people who are involved in our stuff that don't know anything, and they started messaging me after the trailer, like, "What the fuck is going on?" And so I'm excited to see people's reaction to this new platform for Joe.
Yeah, and let me tell you, I'm not going to abuse this platform. I'm going to treat it like a maiden boat off for its first voyage, and I'm going to christen it the Buckley boat.
Did you say Christian?
Yeah.
You mean Christian?
He's gonna
Whatever.
Christian it.
Yeah.
He's going to throw a jug of his old cum at the side of the boat.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do know people do that.
All right. Let's end this here. I'll go ahead and do the plugs.
Oh, cool.
You can find the Let Me Tell You About show on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play. You can find links to all those on the website, which is lmtya.com. Not Let Me Tell You About account. LetMeTellYouAbout.com, because that domain costs over $3,000.
Yeah, somebody's sitting on it.
On Twitter, at Let Me Tell You PD. Emails, Let Me Tell You About, it's spelled with 3 T's at the end, because apparently I don't know how Gmail works. And 99-cent movies, is that still a thing?
No, because that was kind of documenting the making of Butcher the Bakers, so that's a little bit.
I think it's still worth. If for some reason you haven't had enough of Joe, he has anywhere between 15 minutes to an hour of where they gave him a microphone.
Yep,
And that's on
unfiltered.
99-cent movies. You want to hear more about how they went about making Butcher the Bakers. They had interviews with people in all the different
casting crew,
roles.
pretty much, yeah. And I just, I would, because sometimes I would be in the episode, whenever we would, like, wrap up and stuff, I would be on the whole time, just, like, doing some stories and stuff and filming.
Yep, passing the buck with Joe Buck.
Yeah. In a week, pretty much, we're going to be live at the Benevolent Buckley show on YouTube. We've got
Well, it's not live.
Well, I
Well,
mean,
not-
I could
not
be.
YouTube live.
I could stream it live on YouTube. We could do that.
Yeah, streaming.
Well, stream Joe's face watching the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, face cam of Joe. Ooh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I could do a reaction video to that.
Yeah,
episode.
Joe reacts. That'll
Yeah.
get you sued off YouTube. That's copyright. Can't use reacts.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. We're also over on Facebook, the Benevolent Buckley Show.
Yeah, just I'm not. I got to be honest. I don't think I'm that old, but I'm just not that big into social media. So we just have a Facebook page and a YouTube page. Really, it's not like we're not going to blast people with this stuff. It's like if you find it and you like it, great. And if you do, please share it and let people know about it. We think it's a good goof and a laugh. And yeah, like about 100 minutes of content coming your way.
Yeah.
All
right.
Joe.
Yeah. Oh, and if you also want more Joe, Best Boys, it's a movie reviewing podcast where a lot of people don't watch the movies, but they listen to it anyway.
Yep. And Joe, give me a closing noise.
Okay.
Joe, you swallow at the loudest possible volume. It disturbs me.
And actually, I've learned to swallow without anything being in my mouth. It's a gift. It's a gift that I have been given.
All right, I'm gonna stop this.
Thank you, Ted.